I think 2,500 is just, it's very out of my budget. I'm thinking more like 1,200 kind of a deal.
$1,200 will get you somebody else other than me.
I'm not selling you my time. I'm not selling you my gear. I'm talking about results and goals.
Yo, what is going on, D-Mogul? My name is Ted, and today we are joined by Chris Do, creative business extraordinaire and founder of The Futur. And last week we did an episode about how to price yourself as a freelancer, and it got such a positive response. And we got this question right here so many times that today we're going to go ahead and answer that question. So how do you price out videography work, and how do you get the rate that you deserve? Chris, real quick, let me read you the prompts of what we're doing here today. We are looking for a solo videographer for a 1.5 day, 14 hours total, to film interviews with a passion project juice bar to make little bios of the employees for company branding. Now, the rate for this is $75 an hour, and you must provide your own camera and equipment.
Wow.
So this is including the entire video as well, too. So just to play the opposite end of this as well, to play our business owner, we have Moses Israel, a good friend of the show. He's going to be coming on, trying to keep the prices down as low as possible. So to see all of this in action, let's get started.
All right, Chris, how you doing there? Thank you for taking this call.
I'm doing good. Thanks, Moses.
Awesome. So let me get right to it. Just since I don't have a lot of time here, I've got a couple things running around. So I'm the CEO of this juice bar company, and I'm really just looking for some promo videos. I just want to kind of talk to you about the project. I'm looking for someone to come in and film some interviews. You know, it's for these juice bar employees. I really want to show the world kind of who these juice bar employees are, and it really just ties into our branding. The rate is $75 an hour, and you must provide your own camera and equipment. What are your thoughts on that?
Let me ask you a quick question. A lot of people do come and ask me for producing video content. A lot of times they don't really need it. It's not going to impact their business. Is this the case with you? Is this going to do anything for your business at all?
Well, I think so. I'm not too much into the film world, but I think that videos like this are going to humanize our brand. It's going to show people around the world we're not just a corporate company with these videos. Like we have real employees. So the answer to your question, yes, I think it's something that we want to show.
Let me put this in a different frame so that we can talk about apples to apples here. For example, if you had said, you know what, we really want to switch out the furniture in our juice bar. I think as a business owner, to be fiscally responsible, you have to say, well, if we spend $10,000 in new furniture, what's the return on investment? Right. And then you could probably answer quite clearly. It's not just going to be because it feels better. It's got to make an impact on your business. So usually when people come to me and say, we need a video, I got to find out, business owner to business owner, if this video doesn't do anything for you except for a feeling, and you are well within your right to spend money on feelings, but I'd like to see if this can actually improve something tangible and measurable.
Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of variables there. There's a lot of what ifs in what you just said. This is really going to boost our brand social media wise. Like we're getting a lot of traffic through social media, through Instagram, through Twitter, through Facebook. And so right now we have 0 videos for social media. And so this, I want to be able to provide some kind of content. Okay. And also like, I just also wanted to ask you, like, in addition to doing some of these interviews and these videos, if it's possible to do maybe like some still photography of like our juices for our social media page. I don't know if in film, if that's something you guys can like pull screen grabs from the footage.
Sure, we can talk about that. I'm still trying to get us to come to a common place here. And I know this is not your business. This is my business in terms of creating videos. And videos are a communication tool. They really are. So I need to know more concretely like what it is that you're trying to communicate. I want you to look at this relationship like I'm a business ally. I'm a consultant in a very specialized niche field of creating video content. If we can get X number of views or likes or click-throughs, then there's something measurable, and then I would design the piece of communication in conjunction with you to achieve that result.
I mean, hearing you say that, then kind of let me give you a little more context of what I want, like the end result. I want people to watch these videos and immediately want to come into our juice bar and buy our brand.
Probably what we really need to do is design a targeted campaign within a very specific region to get people to watch these videos, because if they watch it, maybe there's a call to action that they can go to your site, or maybe there's a coupon or something that they can do that translates into business. Now we're talking the same language, right?
I love that. I love that idea.
Because even if 1 million people watch this video, which you might be thrilled about, But if 0 people walk into the store, then it's not worth anything, is it?
I mean, it really isn't. But if you're talking about, creating a campaign for this, what direction would you take this in, I guess?
Yeah, I think what we need to do is tell a compelling story. Give people a reason why they should care. What makes you different? If I were a stranger walking into your juice bar, you as the manager, and I asked you this question, what makes you different? Why should I care about you? What would you tell me?
I would say we use locally sourced products.
Beautiful.
We use all organic ingredients. We also
Love it.
We also hire locally, and we use all biodegradable products. And so if we can tie that into the campaign in any way, then I think that, we're onto something. And then if there's any way that we can squeeze in some editing, like I know the $75 an hour rate is for the day and a half, but if we can squeeze in some edits, and I'm talking only 30-second type of videos on social media, is that something that we can maybe work into the rate or just work into this overall package?
I can do it all for you. That's
Okay.
not the challenge
They
here.
they would just be 30-second videos. It wouldn't be something because a 30-second video, it's just 30 seconds. So I would assume it probably doesn't take that long to edit. It probably takes you 10 minutes or something. Or
It's counterintuitive, actually. The shorter something is, the harder it is. If you've ever had to give a 5-minute speech versus a 30-minute speech versus a 2-hour talk, the shorter it is means that every moment must count, and it requires more judicious editing. But we already have really good bones to work with here, you see? So I hope you got a feeling that, I'm pretty sure you're going to talk to other cinematographer, editors, video producers, and the time that I took to spend to figure out what your business goals are, what makes you unique and different, is what makes me unique and different. I don't know if you got that feeling or not.
Absolutely. I think that we're on a very good vibration here, for sure.
Great. So this is the part you have to brace for impact, okay? Do you have your seatbelt on? Are you in your chair firmly?
Let's talk arm and a leg here. What's it going to cost me?
Arms and legs. It'll just cost you a finger. I have a package for business owners just like you, where I come in, I shoot, I use all my own gear, I'm fully licensed and insured, and I will help you develop a script. We will shoot it, and I will deliver you a 30-second video, and I'll help you figure out how to target users on social media. For that, I charge $2,500.
Oh, I mean, that's kind of, that's over. But I'm kind of getting sticker shock syndrome here.
Yes.
Of it's
Hot flashes.
Yeah, I mean, that's really over. I'm really just looking for a very quick video, a 30-second thing. I'm 2,500. I just feel like that's an hour-long project or something. I'm really just looking for a quick little 30-second video. I mean, what's the cheapest you can go? I'm thinking more $1,050, $1,200 kind of a deal.
$1,200 will get you somebody else other than me. We'll be clear about that, okay? The package price is $2,500. I know through all our talking and through talking about the kinds of things that I do that might be different than somebody else that you're talking to, that's the fee. And if you can get over the conceptual part of it, which I understand it's a lot of money, it really is. And that's why at the very beginning, I almost always ask my clients, why even spend this money? Even $1,200 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Why even spend $1,200? Why not spend $5? Why not just shoot it on your iPhone? And those are very acceptable forms of producing content. And the answer I always get back is because, well, A, I don't know what I'm doing, and B, it'll look unprofessional, and C, what kind of results will I get from that?
Gotcha. I mean, it's increasing the budget a little. If we were to go to 1,500, I understand that, that's less than what you're usually doing. What would 1,500 get me? Anything? Maybe you come out for less hours. I really just need this to be a 30-second video. I don't need a lot.
I see you're stuck on the number. Here's what I'm willing to do. I can make some phone calls. I could refer some other people. Maybe you will want to work with them instead. I'm pretty sure there's some hungry people out there. Maybe they'll do it for you for $1,500. Will that work for you? Because my rate is $2,500.
It's just, I kind of want to see what everything that it's getting me. It's just, I know $2,500 is very out of my budget. Let's say if I was to go as high as $1,800, and I know your rate's $2,500. The $1,800, maybe do you give me one, an edit that's less, that you put less time into? Maybe we bring out a cheaper, more consumer type of camera. I've heard things about these DSLRs and stuff. If we did it for $1,800, can you do something with a DSLR, or can we get a little bit lower?
No, I'm sorry to say no. There's not. I'll tell you why. I don't think you're paying me for my time. I don't think you're paying me for the gear. I think ultimately, if you're being a really smart, prudent business person, you're paying me for the results that we're going to get. And that's it. So you just have to ask yourself, is what I have to gain worth more than $2,500? If yes, we'll do business together. If no, you need to find somebody else to do this. So if we look at potentially more customers or more positive engagement online and people are sharing and talking about your product and services, or maybe you're going to be invited on that board council that you've been looking for because they understand you're a pillar of the community and all the good that you do.
Let's say if I were to agree to 25 flat, all up front.
Yes.
You know, if I pull money out of somewhere for these videos, format wise, can we make sure we get a 30-second promo video? Can we make sure that it's formatted for Instagram, Facebook? We have a Twitter link. Is that a problem at all? That's not asking too much if we just had formats for all of these social media outlets.
If you can agree right now, there's no more haggling, I can do that for you.
Let's lock that in. I send me over the contract. Right. I'll have to source some of this money elsewhere, but I think, I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm hearing good things. So let's lock that in. Give me a fist bump.
You know what? Let's do it better. Let's do a high five right now.
Bam! Got it. Awesome.
So the second conversation was a little bit different. And the reason why I think it's a little bit different is because most of the time as a freelancer, you're just trying to sell yourself as a position to fill a role on a set.
Yep.
And this one you're operating a little bit more as an all-in-one business. And I think a lot of new videographers have to deal with this. Local business has a project. I want to shoot them a video, but they don't know anything about video.
Right.
So for this kind of conversation, what's really the first technique that you were thinking about applying here?
When you're talking with potentially an owner manager, they don't work with creative people all the time. So there's a whole different approach that you need to take. So you have to make sure you tailor your approach to the kind of person you're talking to. What you have to do is you have to shift the conversation away from the thing that you make, from the equipment that you use and the time that you put into it, to the results that this thing is going to achieve. Focus almost all of your conversation on the results.
I would design the piece of communication in conjunction with you to achieve that result.
What were the things that you noticed that Moses was doing
to
be able to try to negotiate and lower your fee?
Believe it or not, this happens a lot. So this is very realistic in the game of negotiation. They tried to reduce the level of effort and energy by describing it in very minimal terms. They tried to trivialize what it is that you do.
30-second video, it's just 30 seconds. So I would assume it probably doesn't take that long to edit. Like it probably takes you like 10 minutes or something. Or
let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about what it is. We want to talk about is the goal that we're trying to achieve. We pivot straight out of that because he's going to try to make it sound easier and like less effort. He even tried like, it'll take you 20 minutes, an hour? I don't feel good about that. I'm like, well, I'm not selling you my time. I'm not selling you my gear. I'm talking about results and goals.
How do you demonstrate that you're different than just a guy that's going to come in and hold a camera for them?
Yeah, so if you start to talk to the client about what their goals are, what they're trying to do, and you try to make it as quantifiable and less esoteric and about feelings, because then they start to see the value in their mind. And this is really, really critical. At the end of the day, we don't really care that we have a video or a new website or a new logo. What we do care about is what that achieves for us professionally and personally. Having a new logo might help them to do a line of merchandise, but it'll also make them feel that they are more in love with their own brand and their perception of their value. And that's really important. So you need to be able to address that. The reason why we spent so much time talking to them about their business, their communication goals, who they are, what makes them different, is so that I can start to map in my mind, oh, now I have ideas and I know how to solve that problem. I also know sometimes I'm not going to be able to solve this problem. And it's totally okay. And I would rather find that out now than later.
The time that I took to spend to figure out what your business goals are, what makes you unique and different, is what makes me unique and different.
The first things that I see business owners do all the time is they price creative work in this very weird, arbitrary way. In this case, it's this hourly rate to come and do this project.
Yep.
But talk to me a little bit about the way that this was priced out.
Yeah, it was difficult because a lot of these ads that you're going to see, they are defining the way that you work with almost no information, and it's completely arbitrary. So as arbitrary that is, you can come up with your own arbitrary number. If they can do it, you can do it. So in this negotiation, I decided to take a very different tact and just say, here's my set project rate. And I kept saying it, and it's non-negotiable. I kept reinforcing it's $2,500. This is what you get. Because believe it or not, when you have a very clearly defined process and scope, it makes people feel like you've been doing this for a long time.
I definitely don't work for the amount of money you're talking about. I do
Okay.
project fees, and we can talk about the scope. And then basically you either say that's going to work for me or it's not. And that's the end of that.
I'm not negotiating you for every little part every single time, because there are a lot of questions about what does this include: licensed music, sound effects, color. It includes it all because that's the price that you're going to pay. So I wanted to really flat bid this and not deal with hours, because I knew if I was getting stuck in the hours, this person would be like, well, why don't we just trim off another 3 hours? Why don't we just add this or do that? You can defeat the entire argument of, isn't it easy to do this? Or I think you can rent this piece of gear. We just remove that. We take that right off the table and just say, you want results? I'm here to deliver results. This is what it's going to cost.
I think people get stuck in nickel and diming all the time.
Unfortunately.
When it comes to this kind of work.
I'm going to say you're going to get the white glove experience. I'm going to do my best job to achieve this goal for you. You're not going to have to worry. I'm going to show up. And not only that, I'm going to help you figure out the communication part to make your business matter to your customers. I want to move the needle for you. A lot of times people come to you and they say, I need X. I need a video. So it sounds like that's the problem. Your job is to find what the true problem is, what the real problem is. The real problem is they don't need a video. They need to get their name out. They need to share. And once we dug deep enough, they needed to do something on social because that was important to them. So once you start to figure that out, a connection forms between you and that person. I want to be their business ally. And I even said it.
I want you to look at this relationship like I'm a business ally. I could have easily just said, Moses, give me the money. I'm going to show up and do whatever and turn over whatever. It could be a piece of garbage.
Talk to me a little bit about referring other people. That was something I was surprised to see, is that at one point you kind of cut yourself off from the conversation entirely.
I could refer some other people. Maybe you will want to work with them instead.
If price is really all you care about, let's find you a better value. I even suggested that Moses shoot it himself. Use your iPhone. Because, everybody with an iPhone can make video, right? So he has to then say to himself, it's actually not about the gear at all. It's about the artist. The paintbrush does not make the artist makes the paintbrush. It's a very different process, okay? So I even volunteered to help, and I'm not offended by it. This is, again, the retreat and follow process, because you can hire whoever you want, but if you want to hire me, it's going to be at this price, and this is how I work. Because if you like those results, this is how I got there.
You were smiling through a lot of the negotiation. Why are you nodding like that? What do you mean by that? In terms
Well, first of all, you should enjoy your work, shouldn't you? And if you don't like this, you have to start to think, am I cut out to be in business? And ultimately, you have to come to the real truth, which is if you hate doing business, hire somebody to do the business part for you, or get really good at it and learn to love it. If you expose yourself to these uncomfortable things, you start to become better at it. You become a little desensitized. And that's what makes a person a very powerful negotiator, is they don't get into it emotionally. We open up ourselves to be vulnerable. The clients feel safe. They'll say, so that you can actually have real conversation versus guarded communication, which is what you don't want to do.
Alrighty, guys, there you have it. There's your episode on how to price videography work as a freelancer doing these kinds of jobs. Now, if you like this episode, make sure you go check out the guys over at The Futur. They do a lot of awesome creative kind of business services, a lot of educational, so that you can learn more there. Likewise, Chris, we actually asked him as well too. He's going to be joining us in those comments. So if you've got those burning client questions that you've been trying to answer forever, we're going to be there. We'll be able to help answer some of those right away. But other than that, Indie Muggle, that's it for me. I'm Ted. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, I'll get you guys next time.
Well, I was gonna ask. I have a nephew who's in film school, and I wanted to see if you can use an extra hand on set. Maybe he can run the clapper thing for you or whatever. That's the last haggle. I just really wanted to save that for the end.
Okay.